short-term demand right now, I feel like we can already see it. We're already pricing out May and June in a lot of markets. What I see is always twofold. There's what Petrochem Wire and the price reporting function of Opis is looking at in assessing the forward market. So when I say that we've got backwardation in some markets, it actually only goes through to maybe July. Then it turns contango. So that means that at some point, people in the market, not Kathy, people in the market are out there saying, I've got a lot more faith in September than I do in May. That's interesting. So that curve for ethylene and propylene is a little bit backward and then a little bit contango. So for whatever that's worth, but at the same time, that usually I always say that, the forward market is a great place to manage your risk, but going into it with knowledge of the expert forecasts is also a big component of that. So my colleagues over at Chemical Market Analytics, they're also in a similar vein saying, there is some room for a little softening, the degree of which they get into more as the time is approaching. And they do have some real solid ideas on that as well, of how much softening are we seeing, especially in the short-term months, but then longer term, that I think that, again, there is more bullish sentiment around the second half of the year, particularly third quarter.
Yep.
But, like I say, I'm always deferring to them saying, they've got full forecasts. You can definitely check those out. They're quite good.
Sure.
But I do think that that looking, again, it's with data, it's more options. So when you see that a forward curve is backward, how steeply backward? Because, again, my colleagues at CMA, when we have the 70-cent propylene, April's trading at 50, their forecast was also like, the higher the price goes, the bigger the correction will be. It's not saying when it drops, the whole year is over. No, let's take this situation at a time. Right. So a lot of times those things work in lockstep. I do think, unless something happened in my memory since the last time we talked, third quarter is usually a pretty decent demand time for manufacturing. It is when the end of the year orders for finished goods, a lot of them are set.